man with a golden whistle. That's a good one. Oh, you're speaking about me? Oh! Good day, whistle watchers, and welcome back to the farm. It's the time of the year where the farmers are getting all the crops in. I've just had my TB test done last week and thankfully it was all clear. What a stressful week, I can tell you. And of course, the Northern Hemisphere here, the rugby is back as well. But down south, things have been underway for a while, but more of that later. As ever, your Emirates fan questions have been coming in. So let's start off with them. Here we go. The most exciting part of the week for me is answering your Emirates fans questions. Now then, here's the first one. Let me get it the right way up here. Now then, this one is a response to the big news of last week from Tim Russell regarding the Jody Barrett incident. Tim Russell says, mitigating factor against the card. Surely the player in the air is safe until he hits the ground. Therefore, the Aussie encroached into his safe space. When he won the space in the air, the other players have to be aware of that. If the Aussie had taken him out and he landed on his head, the Aussie would have been red carded. Yes, you have a bit of a point, but just remember, when a player is in the air, the player on the ground is entitled to be in that area as long as he doesn't do anything to the player's safety in the air. So the Australian player was quite entitled to be where he was. Just remember as well now, when two people are running for the ball and the jumper jumps the last minute to catch that ball and you're in that space when there's nothing you can do it. So what you do next is then what matters. So what we have to remember here, player safety paramount to keep the guy safe in the air, but also as well, we must remember about the player safety of the guy on the ground as well. Other things you had on your mind this week? James Richard says, what is your PB, personal best, in running 100 meters? Oh, about 34 seconds. What did Usain Bolt do it in? I was a few seconds behind him. Simon Brackenstone, and he asks, how would you decide where to stand as a ref? Oh, now then, this is a good question because you basically need to stand where you need to see what you need to see. So for example, if the ruck is there, you tend to stand on the attacking side 2 or 3 meters away from the ruck so you can see the defence and you can also see the ball and you can see the ruck. Now obviously the game has changed a lot in the last 5-10 years. Now players are running from all different angles, running back in, pick and go, winning that gain line. So your positioning has to alter with what's happening. Princeps, with all due, don't like the beginning of this, with all due respect to him, but he wasn't the best referee in the world. Jakob Piper and Roman Pat were better. Oh, you're speaking about me? Oh, hey, I don't argue with you. Not arguing with you one bit. Jakob Piper and Roman Pat are excellent referees. Have you tried refereeing yourself? Give it a go. I'll come and see how good you are. And that's it from the Emirates fans. Thanks very much for your questions. Last week I asked you what the title of the movie of my life should be. Caius Priscu says, have we met before? No, we haven't. Steve Goss, Nigel Owens, the Rainbow Referee. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Wayne Morgan, the man with a golden whistle. Oh, I like that. I did like a little bit of the old James Bond movies, I got to say. And Audrey Pearl Mayer says, the whistleblower. Now, I'm not quite sure about that because the whistleblower to me sometimes means you're grassing somebody up, doesn't it? But one that came up over and over again, which I'm not surprised with, and I'll finish with this. This is not soccer. That's my favourite. Right, let's get into Whistle Watch. Now, there was a few cards in the Rugby Championship on the weekend, which we will look a little closer into. Now, the All Blacks avenged their defeat to Argentina last year by beating them pretty comfortably on the weekend. And what about Quade Cooper's comeback? Last seconds penalty to win the game against South Africa. What a finish. Now then, let's have a look at the yellow cards. Yellow card for Philip. The South African maul gets motoring, and just as it gets close to the line, Philip brings it down. So the referee feels here that that was a professional foul. The defending team can't willfully take them all down or collapse them all. If they do so, it's a penalty. So in this instance, it deems that to be a professional foul, and therefore a yellow card. Now then, the yellow card for Leroux, the Springboks full-back, as intervention was deemed a deliberate knock-on. So what is a deliberate or unintentional knock-on? If a player goes to pass the ball and the defender tries to intercept it, so what you can do, you can attempt to catch the ball, but you can't deliberately knock it on. So for example, I'm not going to be able to catch that ball, so I'll deliberately knock it on to prevent the opposition gaining possession of the ball. It's an offence, it's classed as foul play, and it is a penalty. It can also be a penalty and a yellow card, depending where it is on the field. Just one little thing for you to remember here. If a referee gives a penalty try, which means if it wasn't for an offence by the opposition, a try would have probably been scored, if he can identify the individual of that offence within the laws of the game, he has to give a yellow card. Okay. We also saw a Wallaby Fayanga's tackle on a South Africa player with no arms, given a yellow card as well. So you've got to make an attempt to wrap when you make a tackle. So basically, when you make an attempt to tackle, your arms are doing this motion. So nobody's going to tackle with this first and then shoulder. The shoulder hits, and simultaneously, within a split second, this wraps. If the arm is out like this or backwards, it means you're hitting with the shoulder first and you're not using your arms, or your arm could be tucked in and you're just going in low, which we see a lot of defensive around the picks and goals as well. So you must make an attempt to wrap. So no arms in an attempt to wrap is deemed to be dangerous tackle, illegal, and it is usually a yellow card. And if it's really dangerous, making contact with a head or maybe really into the knee or the joint of a player, then it can be even a red card as well. So make sure you always attempt to wrap when you're making a tackle. Now then, a couple of South African fans have been asking, why weren't they getting scrum penalties when they were clearly dominant in the scrum? Now the reason why a referee would not reward is because he feels that the dominant scrum is maybe illegal, so which means you're driving them back, but you're doing it illegally. So you're driving across, or you're driving in, or you're driving them down, or driving them up. Because when you drive in the scrum, you need to drive straight, and you need to drive square, and you need to push your opposition back. So you as an attacking team, even though you're dominant, you can't do nothing illegal to force them to collapse the scrum. So in that instance, if the referee feels that the dominant scrum is illegal for any of those reasons, he would penalise the dominant scrum and not the defensive scrum. But if you are legal and dominant, then you should be rewarded in the scrum. Here we go then, time for this week's challenge. This week's challenge is called What's Their Side Hustle? Now you all know what my side hustle is. It's farming. But I need to guess what other past or present rugby personalities hustles are. Here we go. Richie McCaw. I think he's a helicopter. Is he a helicopter pilot, isn't he? Yes. Manu Tuiagi. Is he his brother's an agent? I know his brother's the agent. All the brothers. No idea. What does he do? Gin producer. Ooh. Josh Navidi. I know Josh's brother and he's a hairdresser or a barber. Is Josh a barber as well? If he does, he needs a haircut. I don't know what Josh does actually. Is coffee? No. A DJ, are you Josh? Oh. Wayne Barnes? I know what he is. A barrister. And he's a better barrister than he's a referee as well, I can tell you. Only joking, Barnesy. George Gregan. Oh, must be doing something with talking, because he talked a lot on the field. No idea, what does he do? Coffee shop owner, yeah, I have heard that actually, I should have known that. Marley Packer. Do you know what? There was an article in the Western Mail here this week about a girl from Fonteberem here, and she's done some work for me as well, who's become a plumber. And I think something tells me Marley Parker is a plumber as well. Yes, well done. Oh, well, there you are. Well, I got 3, didn't I? That's not bad. Bad at all. Hey, and let us know what your side hustles are. We'd love to hear from you.